In this video, the head of A&R for Champion Records, Rob Made, gives his 5 things producers need to know. Let's dive in. Hey, it's Grahame Farmer from Data Transmission, and today on The Big Question I'm joined by Rob Made. Rob is the head of A&R for Champion Records. Champion Records have been around for 35 years. Big one. They've got a brand new box set out celebrating their 35 years. You'll know them from such massive records as the huge Robin S, Show Me Love, the massive Sandy B, Make the World Go Round, and many, 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 many more. He joined me on the podcast for a long hour chat. Go and check that out in the card below. As part of that, I asked him his 5 things producers need to know. So let's jump in and find out what his 5 are. Let's go.
Right, so, I mean, me as a producer, the last 20, 22 years, probably the first 5 years of that, I ignored EQ, right? For some reason, just ignored EQ, didn't really want to understand it. I did everything in my headphones, and I did good. I actually made some pretty good wealth of tracks. I toured the world off the back of them, so that kind of helps. But when I started to really understand mixing and EQ and when to use things and when not to, and that is a really important lesson. And it was like, don't be afraid of learning something outright. It would have saved me a hell of a lot of time, I think. So yeah, using EQ, the most important for me is subtractive EQ, low cut. Low cut everything apart from your kick and your bass. You don't need anything under 30 hertz. That's invisible to the ear and it will just muddy up your mix. So that's one major important thing for me. Two. Don't get sidetracked, because I did this for a long time when I built this studio. I got sidetracked in the technicalities of mix downs and mixing down. Right, when I went from headphones under the cupboard in my house, under the cupboard stairs. That's where I was with my headphones and just my Mac. That was it. I built.
I love the thought of that. By the way, you just sort of sat under the stairs, going, get this mix right.
I could stand there, luckily, but yeah, I got really got bogged down with the thought of my track doesn't sound good enough. I need to be worried about the mix down stage right in the beginning, and because I got all this new kit, I was like, watching so many videos, and it was just too much information, and I just lost my vibe, right? And everything, it should be about fun in the first most. So when you start a project, just have fun with it. Don't worry about the kick. Don't worry about tidying it up. Don't worry about any of that. Just get the main music, because back in the day, they didn't have, everything was about the music and how it was made, and it wasn't about the mix down and how can I get the best mix, because back then it wasn't the best mix downs and stuff. You listen to it, but the way stuff was put together and the actual musicality of it and how it works on the dance floor, that is the most important thing to me. So I think that's something that's really, really important when starting a project, is to not worry about the mix side of things. Just have fun with it, in the beginning.
Okay, that's cool. Number 3.
Having somebody you trust, that's close to you, that's in the music industry, that you can share your ideas with, and you can share your music and your tracks with. Having that network of people around you, that can give advice. I've always had somebody like that since when I was way back at React, when everything was on AIM Messenger. I had a few certain key people that I trusted and I worked with, and I always sent stuff to. Joel Xavier being one of those guys. He's always been there for me. I used to always send my early stuff when I wasn't too sure on it myself, just to get that output. And, I had so much respect for him with his Kinky Vinyl and Work Records and all of that. So I think actually having somebody that can not nurture, but just kind of like, egg you on in the right direction, I suppose, which is good to kind of have that network. And that's one side of things. I think going on to 4, social, your socials, and that's being very, you do need to be active on your social media, as much as artists and people shy away from that. We like to sit in darkened rooms listening to the music, but people want to know and hear about what you're up to and what you're doing on a kind of daily basis. I'm guilty of not really doing that, if I'm honest. I'm so busy with the labels. I am very much you know, this is out now, this is coming up, you know, rather than just, you know, taking a cool picture in the studio or doing a little snippet of a track I'm working on. You know, I really have to do that. But, you know, I'm one of the older ones. Yeah, you younger kids out there, you've got no excuse.
And number 5, we're there on number 5.
Number
Go for
5, yeah, don't get bogged down on needing all the kit, all the gear. I think a lot of us producers are like this. We probably spend way too much money, far too much money on plugins, and wanting the next best thing, wanting all that UAD stuff, wanting all that hardware. Learn something, you know, there's, you know, 5, 6, 7 key things that you need in production. You know, a good reverb, a good compression, a good idea of bussing change, you know, your drum chain, your reverb chain. Just find a plugin and really stick to it, really learn it and really use it. And then the more you use it, you're going to understand it. And then when you start to use other makes or other things, you'll actually understand a hell of a lot more the different types of color that it brings. And, you know, a lot of it's subtractive rather than, you know, adaptive, I suppose. And rather than making everything sound louder and bigger, it's the more you take away is actually how you get a bigger sound, which I know it sounds crazy and it doesn't make sense. It's kind of a bit of a, what? It's very true. You know, the more you take away, the more you can get out of it in the final process, which
this is more for
should
sure.
always be done by a professional.
That was amazing. Thank you for those 5. I'm glad you're on that series now, and
Yeah.
Thanks. They were incredible tips. I hope you all got something out of that, listeners. Which was your favourite? Did you enjoy them? Which did you get the most out of? Which ones did you not know at all? Drop that in the comments below. I'd love to know what you're getting out of these videos, and if you're watching them. If you're new to the channel, say hello in the comments. Tell me where you're from. I'd love to know. So consider subscribing. It means you get your videos first. It means you get a notification when they go live, so you get to watch them. Thank you for all those people that have been watching my videos recently. I'm enjoying enjoying them and dropping me comments. It really does mean the world to me. I've been Grahame Farmer, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers. Bye bye.